What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture, and we're here today counting down 5 through 1 of the top 10 keys to invest in for Silver Surfer and Galactus. Two huge characters that I cannot wait to see on the big screen in the MCU. Now, this is part 2 in this 2-part series, so if you haven't checked out 10 through 6, go check out that video as well. If you are just joining the channel for the first time, please take some time to subscribe to the channel. I produce content 7 days a week for you all. Of course, check out all the awesome links below as well. Couple things before we get into the books. First and foremost, this is how it's going to work. As we get lower down in number, these books are going to get hotter and hotter. We're looking at current fair market value of each book, and we're going to compare that to the fair market value of each book 5 years ago. Those books with the largest growth in fair market value, those books that have increased the most in value, are going to be the lowest on the list. All right? Now, before we get into book number 5, I do want to let everyone know that if you need comic supplies, I highly back BCW. Now, I know I have a partnership with them, but I do not take on any partnerships or sponsorships that I do not trust and believe in. I have been a customer of BCW for multiple decades. I trust their product. There is a link below. You can click that to check out bcwsupplies.com. You can use the discount code Journos to receive 10% off of your order. Now, this isn't a one-time code. You can use it for any order that you place today, tomorrow, 5 months from now, and you can use it again and again and again. So take advantage of using that discount code and check out bcwsupplies.com. All right, I think we are all ready to count down these next 5 books. Starting out with number 5. We have Fantastic Four number 72. Now, the reason why I kind of chuckled there is because good friend of the channel, Jay, I actually recently did a top 10 Fantastic Four books to invest in. And in both of those videos, because it's a 2-parter, he's like, where's Fantastic Four 72? And I'm trying to not spoil the fact that I'm doing this Silver Surfer list. And I'm telling him, okay, be patient here. This book is one that has become highly sought after. What's funny is I've been chasing all of my Silver Surfer keys, right? And I thought that I had them all, and I still don't have this one. Still hoping to get it one day, but this book has been on fire. Now, what is this book? Well, it's merely really a classic Silver Surfer Kirby cover, right? It is this earlier Silver Surfer appearance. It's arguably the first cover that actually centers on Silver Surfer. I know we have the Watcher in the background, but you see Silver Surfer taking up the entire cover of this book. So this book has been absolutely hot as of late. Current CGC 9.2 fair market value is sitting at $1,089. 5 years ago, $335. That is an increase in value of 225%. That's pretty huge. That's over tripled in value. All right, so we're going to look at raw prices here, and I'm going to break this down as I always do. Average raw, $133. What does average raw mean? Again, basic math. You calculate every book sold that is a raw book, no matter the grade. You add up all the prices, and then you divide it by the number of books sold. That's your average raw. What does that mean? It means that you could probably find some book of this in some grade for around that $133 mark, okay? Now, a high raw sold for $472. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean it's a high-grade near mint copy. It means that's the highest value for a raw book that's been sold, $472. So, like I said, this book is definitely been hot, and it continues to increase in value. And just like Silver Surfer himself, this book soars and continues to do so. All right, we are moving on to number 4. This is Thor 169. The origin of Galactus continued, really. But here's the thing with this book. Now, I said before, The origin of Galactus is really a four-parter, okay? You got Thor 161, Thor 162, but the two big books are Thor 168 and Thor 169 here. Now, all of the origin books have been getting hot, but this book has gotten hot specifically because of the first mention of Black Winter as the creeping plague. So for those that don't know, Donny Cates really basically created the Black Winter, so to say, brought him to the forefront. But we know, or at least I know, if you read Donny Cates, he is a historian. He goes back and he does his homework, and he really brought the Black Winter out of this character that was always kind of lingering in the shadows, so to say. And that's why this book has been especially hot. Current CGC 9.6 fair market value. Another book hitting right over that $1,000 mark, but this is for a 9.6. 1040, right? But check this out. 5 years ago, that 9.6, $299. That's a 248% increase. Whew. Wow. All right, average raw, 61, still decently affordable. You look at this high raw sitting at 120. So, you know, again, I mean, hopefully you can find a decent mid-grade still for maybe around that $60 mark. I don't know. That high raw being at 120, I'm going to assume that's not a very high grade. You know, nothing coming in a near mint. This is a 15 center. I do believe it came out in 1969. So, but still, you know, as I say for a lot of books, be patient, okay? And again, I always put my disclaimer out there. Don't just buy these books because I'm talking about them. You got to have love for the characters. You got to have some kind of love for why you want to spend money on these books. If you're in the investment side of it, make sure you're making smart decisions. Make sure you're understanding the risk involved. I'm only here to bring you facts, data, and my personal opinion rolled into one. I'm not here to tell you to buy anything. Do your due diligence. And I, myself, as a collector, patience usually works out in my favor. Sometimes you end up missing out, but usually if you do your research and you make decisions with patience, it's going to be to your benefit in the end, and you can make decisions that you can live with. All right, everyone, we got 3 more books. Next up at number 3 is Silver Surfer, number 4. How can I not put this book on this list? This is the first Thor versus Silver Surfer in a classic John Buscema cover. Now, this is a big book, and I always like to say, I like to sprinkle in books. I don't like to just talk about the books that everyone else is talking about. I don't just like to talk about books that are worth thousands of dollars that the average collector might not be able to afford. But here's the thing with this book, okay? This is a key book that I believe still has a huge ceiling long term. Look at what this book has been doing. Current CGC 9.4 fair market value. 9.2 fair market value. $3,400. 5 years ago, sitting around 956. That's a 256% increase. All right. See, the thing with this book is that there's no real like speculation. You know, like we look at Thor 169, big increases with the push because of Black Winter. This book has just been a classic book, a classic cover for many, many years now, and this book continues to get hot. And I think it has to do with the fact that Silver Surfer in general is getting hot as well. Absolutely. But look, this book is one that, in my humble opinion, will continue to increase steadily over time, regardless of movie hype, speculation, or anything. But this is one that if we see Silver Surfer in the MCU, and we see Silver Surfer battle up against Thor, wow. And I always talk about different ways that Kevin Feige and the MCU can bring some of these Fox properties in, right? Because they don't just want to do what Fox did with them. You know, you're probably not going to see Silver Surfer just show up in the first Fantastic Four movie or, you know, battling Fantastic Four. Cliche, right? So what do? Maybe you actually bring him into that cosmic realm first, and maybe you see him face off with Thor first before he even meets Fantastic Four. You never know. And if that happens, boy, oh boy. Let's look at these average raw numbers, or the raw numbers in general. Average raw, $931. High raw, $2,146. So this is a book, like I said, that you really missed the boat. If you're trying to get this book for a really affordable price, this is one that you just really got to save up money and invest in if you think that it's something that you want for your PC. All right, moving on to number 2 on the list. Fantastic Four number 50. All right, this completes the trilogy of FF 48, 49, and 50, with the big 2 showing up, Silver Surfer and Galactus. This is the first Silver Surfer versus Galactus, and the third overall appearance of Silver Surfer. Even the third overall appearance of Galactus. This book, again, like 48 and 49, has continued on an upward trajectory. Let's look at these numbers. Current CGC 8.5. $2,775. 5 years ago, $461. That is a 502% increase in value. Absolute wow. Absolute wow. The trilogy has just, I have a low grade of this book. It's probably somewhere around a 2.5. I think I may have paid maybe $40 for it some years back. I know that book is probably, I don't even know that grade, but I'm sure it's at least probably tripled in value, even on the low end, right? The low grades. Look at this average raw, $406. High raw coming in at $705. So again, you're probably looking at an average raw of this, an earlier Silver Age Fantastic Four book. You're probably maybe looking at around a lower mid grade. High raw, you might be looking at some type of fine, but I don't know. I don't know the stats and how high of a grade that was, because I can imagine, if a CGC 8.5 is going for almost $3,000 right now, if you had a raw around that same grade, I'm sure it's probably pushing over $1,000 at this point. Look, like I said, these 3 books, 48, 49, 50, have just been on absolute fire. If you could get this one, if you're priced out of 48 and 49, this is that next best thing there. We always talk about next best thing. So try to look for deals. That's all I got to say. Sometimes they are out there still. And going back to it, you might just have to have a little bit of patience. So, and you might also have to be willing to, go after the low grades. If you're looking to just have this book in your collection and you're not looking for something to spend thousands of dollars on and flip or whatever the case may be, hey, go after a nice looking low grade book. I do. All right, everyone. We have one more book on this list of amazing Silver Surfer and Galactus key books to invest in right now. Coming in at number 1 is KREY Fantastic Four 49. Look, I had Fantastic Four 48 as the number 1 in top 10 Fantastic Four books to invest in right now, before we see them in the MCU. And when it comes to Silver Surfer and Galactus, like I said, as cliche as it may be, you got to talk about the big 3, and that's why 49 is here on the list. Now, I don't think 49 will ever surpass 48, but when you think about this book for these 2 characters, it is the first full appearance of Galactus, second appearance of Silver Surfer, but it's the first cover appearance of Galactus as Silver Surfer, and that absolutely means something. All right, so again, I do not believe that 49 will ever be a bigger book next to 48. Absolutely not. But this is one that showcases these 2 characters in a way that is absolutely desirable inside the book and on the cover. So let's look at current CGC 8.5 fair market value, $4,350. 5 years ago, a CGC 8.5 is sitting at about $490. That is, oh man, a 788% increase in value. Absolute mind-blowing. Average raw for this book right now is sitting right under $700 about. High raw sold for $2,500. Look, I wasn't in the YouTube community 5 years ago But I will say, at least for the last 2.5+ years, I've been telling you all, I've been telling you, Silver Surfer and Galactus, these books, 48 and 49 specifically, are going to be those blue chip keys that are going to line up with all those other Silver Age blue chip keys. They're going to be right there with your, Fantastic Four #1s, your Spider-Man #1s. They're just, and look at what's been happening with them. That's why I went out and got these books around that time, and I've told the story about for my FF48, how I put aside like $20 a month for a couple years while I was going to school, and I saved up money and I was able to buy a CGC 3.0 at a price that is now, that book is valued 3 times what I paid for it. So look, it's not too late. It's never too late to own a book, right? If you just want it for your PC. But it's not too late, in my humble opinion, to get these books at a price that will still bring you a return on investment years down the line. All right, look, the big thing with these two players right here, Galactus and Silver Surfer, they have not made it into one of the biggest cinematic, if not the biggest cinematic universes and franchises ever created, being the MCU. They're not there yet. And when they are, you think that these prices are skyrocketing now, it's gonna blow minds, in my humble opinion. It's going to go absolutely nuts. So that's what I gotta say for it. for this book. Again, if you can find a lower grade for a decent price, I think it's absolutely worth it. Look for these books to soar if we get these characters on the big screen in the MCU. That's the video today, everyone. I do have to give a big shout out to my channel members in a quick moment, but I do want to tell you all to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know how many books you have on the list. Let me know how many books are on your radar and that you are hunting right now. And let me know if there's any books that you didn't see that you would have liked to see on the list. And again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button and do so. Again, I produce content 7 days a week. We have our Friday Night live stream every Friday, and I'm also one half of Comic Book Canon. That link's below as well. Our Comic Book Canon YouTube channel. Give us a sub over there. We have live shows every Friday night as well. But before I end this video, I got to give a big shout out to both my Patreon members and my YouTube members. First and foremost, my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for the continued support every month. We're going to have a Patreon contest at the end of July. I'm either going to be giving away a CGC 8.0 White Pages, Tales to Astonish number 91, the second appearance of Abomination and first cover appearance of Abomination. That book is absolutely hot right now. You all probably know why. If we hit 40 patrons, all right? If we don't hit 40 patrons, I'm still going to be doing a contest at the end of July, giving away Daredevil 181, The Death of Elektra. I'll throw in a couple other books in there with that as well. So to all my Patreon members, thank you all so much. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel via Patreon, it's only $3.99 a month. That link is below. Check out the perks that you do get and how you can help support the channel as well. But to also my YouTube members, if you are interested in becoming a YouTube member, that's only $1.99 a month. You guys do get extra perks as well. Not as much as the patrons, but I will be doing a giveaway at the end of July too. You'll be getting a Last Ronin issue 3 as well as a couple random books thrown in there as well. So again, a big shout out to all of my YouTube members for the continued support. There's that join button below to click to see if you all that aren't members are interested in possibly signing up. So again, thank you all to all of my viewers for supporting me every single day. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments below. Be well, and until next time.